black girl nerves. Better shake your booties for black girl nerves.
Good afternoon, ladies. I enjoy your project tremendously. There's no rivalry like the rivalry between siblings. They're your first friends, your first competitors, your first everything when you come into this world. But in your guys' case, it takes a very interesting turn from the time we meet you two sisters to the where we end up in conclusion. Sydney, beginning with you, they say that the closer you get to genius, it makes you a little more crazy. With your character, as she evolves and we get to know more of her classical pianist abilities, we get to learn more about her and what she's receptive to. What can you say about her character, about your character and the journey that she takes from beginning to end?
Yeah, so Juliet has always kind of lived in her sister's shadows and has been second up to literally everything, whether it's the solo, the teacher, the boyfriend, and she wants to be good and she knows she's good and she just doesn't know what's holding her back. And so when she discovers this notebook that kind of speaks to her and she does start to become that musician and that pianist that she's dreamed of being, she starts to lose her own sanity. And I think that it shows how much you're willing to give up of yourself to achieve such dreams.
Absolutely. Madison, with your character, Vivian, she is the flip. Always good at everything, chosen first. Not even so much chosen first, but always had the get up and go to take the lead and be unapologetic about stepping out there in front. Is that an accurate description of who she is? And what were your thoughts on her as you got to learn who she is?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great description of her. V is just sort of the girl who, she's obviously worked very hard to get to where she was, but everything has just kind of seemed to come her way. She's the girl who's had her life planned out since she was 3, who's always known what she's wanted. And it's interesting because the dynamic between V and Juliet, they're sisters, and I do think they really do love each other, just in this sort of manipulative, toxic sort of way, which as human beings, people tend to fall into. And I think V really believes that Juliet will always be there to be her support system and lift her up. And then I think when Juliet gets a taste of what first place might look like, I think it really upsets V because it was never part of her life plan. And obviously she doesn't want anything to get in the way of her success. So she does start to get extremely angry when her sister starts to take her place.
That's what I kind of liked. I like this, not kind of, but I liked a lot of how it was about these two sisters who did love each other. It wasn't that one sister was just so evil to the other sister on a Cinderella type of thing. You know, they were close and they had a great sibling relationship, but just things in their lives started to pull them apart. With Sydney, with your character Juliet, what was it like to play such a kind of a take that dark road? I'm not familiar with seeing you in those type of roles, but so what was it like to play that type of a character?
I personally loved it. I love playing something that's so different from myself. So being able to go darker and more complex, I really enjoyed. And like you said, Juliet and V, they do love each other. Like they're still sisters, and V has always supported her and everything, but there's so much that you can play with underneath it all that like builds up without even saying anything.
With Madison, with as Vivian, we get to see her in action playing the piano. How do you play the piano, or how were they able to execute it? Because it was so well done. It was very, you can feel like the emotion in her performances and what she did. Do you really play, or how did you guys work that out?
Well, Sydney and we actually both played when we were younger, just a little bit, but we worked with a coach who basically taught us how to play these pieces as if we've been playing them forever. And so we kind of learned it as hand choreography, obviously not hitting the exact notes, but learning where our body needs to be and our hand placement and how to sit and stand. And half of that was also really understanding the emotions behind these pieces, because that was a huge part, because while we're playing, half the time it's on our face, and there's so much more that goes into playing than just your hands. So we spent hours and hours and hours practicing and learning these pieces. It was a lot of fun.
It was enjoyable to watch, because when approaching these films, I don't like to watch trailers. I want to just be surprised, because I don't want to see like the best parts or whatever parts of the movie. I just want to see it fresh. And it wasn't at all what I expected. When you were first approached about the role, Sydney, how much did you know about it? Was it a cold read, or what was the road like to get there?
So I got sent the full script and the audition sides. So I was able to read the script, and then I put myself on tape.
How about you, Madison? Same for you?
Yeah, same thing. And then it was really fun, because Sydney and I both got the call that they were bringing us in to read together. And at this time, we didn't realize we were both reading for it. And so we were like, oh my gosh, we've been friends since high school. So it was really fun and exciting for us to get to act together.
This film is part of a collective of movies for the Blumhouse series, and they're known for unique storytelling, a lot of different stories off of the beaten path. Have you guys had a chance, or Madison, have you had a chance to see any of the other films that are part of the collective that will accompany this one?
I have not seen any other film except ours, and I'm extremely excited. We haven't gotten a chance to see them, which I would have loved to see them, but I'm sure you've seen them all by now. But I'm excited for every single one of them.
It is. It fits beautifully in with the others. Have you seen any of them, Sydney?
No, we'll be watching them live with everyone else.
It's very exciting. I mean, you guys might be a little bit too young for this. There used to be a show years ago called Tales from the Dark Side, where you would take these all these interesting different types of films and put them together in an episode. And, this was reminiscent of that. Before we close out, Sydney, for people who don't know anything about the film, haven't watched a trailer, what should they not expect to see in this film?
Ooh, what should they not expect? They should not expect to be, I hope they're not laughing the whole time.
No, it definitely wasn't that.
Yeah.
How about you, Madison? What should they not expect?
Do not expect happy family, anything happy. Do not expect anything light, because it is the complete opposite.
Absolutely. Thank you, ladies. I enjoyed it very, very much.
Thank
you. Both were wonderful.
Thank you so much.
Have a good one.
You too.
Better shake your booties for black girl nerves. Better shake your booties for black girl nerves.